Hi everyone, I'm back with part 3 now of this page from Fantasy Tiny Homes called Mouse House, and I'm using the Koi Coloring brush pens. I'm going to use one of these grey set here, which is light cool grey, and I'm going to have a grey influenced mouse, I guess, up here. My husband has come home and he's just out in the garden with the lawnmower and everything going, so I hope that isn't too loud for you all. I'm really just trying to sort of get this finished best I can now, push on and try and get it all done. So this is the one double up that I've got so far, is the dark warm grey. That's the first colour that I've found that is doubled up. So that's pretty good. Sometimes with these curated sets you never quite know just how many colours are going to be similar. This is warm grey. So I'm going to stick to a few neutrals here just to stop it from getting too fussy with these small details. And I like to bring in a little bit of green into that little mouse there in the picture. And so while I've got this warm grey, I might do the stairs in that. I want to do the clocks in some sort of metallic, I think. I'm thinking I'd like to do, this is light cool grey, I'll do this fireplace surround quite neutral as well. With these lighter colours, I'm just going to work directly onto the paper. And I'm sorry, but I can hear my neighbour's dog. I hope that's not too intrusive on the camera for you. Might do some wood sort of look, wood effect around there. Was the woody brown that I used on there, wasn't it? That's going to be a bit too much. No, scrap that idea. We'll go back to a grey. I'm going to use, that was warm grey. Let's go for cool grey. Just go for a sort of safe neutral to sort of settle some of that busyness down. And I'll just come in there for a little bit of shadow. And what I could do, because a lot of those markers feel like they might be a little bit too overpowering, is I might do, this is me thinking as I go again, of course. Nothing's ever really planned out, so that's the brown. Let's go for a watered down version of the brown. So you'll hear Hamish is wandering up and down. There might be a lot of noise in the background. I'm not entirely sure, but I do apologise if there is. So I'm going to go for like a wooden case on this clock, but I want the face to be in gold. And I was thinking that this chest down here, there is a colour called burgundy. So I want to try that one out. It sort of fits into this family of warm browns and sort of tans because it's not too red. What I might do is I might paint over all of that to make it easy for myself, and then come back with the metallic, Sakura metallic pen just to do those little strapping type details, just to make it easier on myself. And that's quite a nice colour, and it's playing in with the rest of these colours without being really obvious, and to the point where I'm using that on here and it's actually not looking too out of place. So while I don't think it's a huge light source, you could suggest that there may be some light coming from that fire that is putting this side of the furniture into shadow because the light is there on the other side of it. However, I don't think this is a nighttime picture. I think it is a daytime picture because it's daytime out there. So I'm kind of assuming that there will be some sort of light source happening in this little mouse house, and it's not in fact going to be dark or shadowy. It's going to be quite light. I'd really like to strengthen up that viridian in that rug, but I think using the marker directly on it might be too much, so I'm just going to come back in with that off of the plate. And there's not a lot of water being mixed into that, so it's, you know, it's not diluting it too much. So that's quite nice. And we'll see if we can introduce a bit of a deeper colour there just to suggest that it's round. And into some of these areas, like there is a slight shadow under the table and chairs and so on. I didn't do a great job of blending in over here, so I'm just going to do a little bit more on here. And I'm going to get, I think it was woody brown that I used on there from memory. Just a few sort of little shadowed areas. My goodness, it is all happening out here. I'm really sorry if that is making it onto any of the recording. So I'm going to make it look like there is a light source in that tree. I don't want it to look dark. So this is deep yellow, which I'm going to do in the bottom there and just sort of in the bottom there. And then this other one is yellow. And I want it to look like maybe there's a lamp or something on in there. And I also feel like I want a nice bright colour for the door. Or do I? No, maybe I don't. That's just introducing too much colour again. So we'll go for something that tones in, like raw sienna or brown. We'll start with brown. And I'll do it like it's a wooden door. My instinct is to throw all the bright colours at it because that's what I really like to do in these R.J. Hampson books, is that I try to get every single bright colour onto the page that I can. However, it really won't serve the picture any good, I don't think, to do that with this one. So I'm going to do all of that in the brown. Then the little bits that are showing, which is the depth of the wood, I'm just going to actually use the raw sienna there for a little bit of variation so it doesn't get too dark. And I might actually make that look like that might be glass in the door. And I'm going to do a little bit of deep yellow there. And the yellow, like I did on the window. So it's going to look like behind here there might be some sort of lamp casting some sort of light, nice warm welcoming yellow light. I'm going to get light cool grey. I'm trying to speed up a little bit here because I'm really conscious of all this noise going on. I don't want too much more to start impinging on this video and lose this footage. So if you watched part 1, you would have seen me do a lot of this tree root area in very light washes, and now all I'm doing is using light cool grey to just add a little bit of extra deep tone to that without changing it too much. And the same up here. Just do a little bit of the details. And anywhere where I have missed. Anywhere that it is slightly behind something else, just to give that extra variation. And you can see again I'm holding it right back here purposely to force myself to be quite light and random in my touch. I don't want it to get too heavy and forced. And with it being a brush marker, you can get some really quite wide marks or strokes, or you can use the tip and get really fine details done. Again, I'll do a little tiny bit with the sap green, which is what I used up here as a wash, but I'm going to use it very slightly just to indicate some darker areas. And the same with the yellow green that I used. It will just firm up some of that colour and add the different sort of tone or depth of colour into there without it introducing another colour into it. And what I might do is I might add a teeny bit of yellow into there for the variation that it brings, but it also might suggest that some of these leaves might be about to turn. Perhaps it's sort of heading to late summer to early autumn. Doesn't hurt to add those little touches of other colours in there. And this is woody brown, which of course I've used a lot of it down here. I'll also bring some of that in up here in the tree as well. So once again, there is that relationship between what's happening at the bottom of the picture. The similar colour or the same colour is being used at the top just to consolidate that relationship between things. And add interest up there to make it not look so flat, but you know, I'm not introducing these extra colours in. That was Naples yellow. So I'm going to use the Naples yellow there just to sort of suggest that there's a bit of shadow behind there, or deepening of the colour. I quite like this one actually. It's a really nice yellow. It's almost, you know, sort of a very yellow orange colour, and I quite like that. Again, I don't really want the wall to look like it's solidly one colour either, because I think, you know, it's a mouse house underground. So I'm constantly skimming around now looking for what needs to be touched up. So I'm coming in light cool grey. I've decided I'll put onto there, and then I'll put that extra little bit onto there to deepen that up. So first pass on this, my thoughts were to only use the one colour, one product, as in these colouring brush pens. But I think this might be something that would really come alive with a little bit of extra pencil work with it as well. So I'm going to do the outer frame of these windows and things as if they're wood, and then the actual window frame I'm going to leave white, the inner window frame. And I think I'll do the shutters, I might do those in that vermilion, same colour as the flowers. For a bit of fun. And I thought that was shirt collar before, but I think I'll do that as the collar on the jacket. That just needs a little bit of extra colour on there. And I think I'll give him a dark coloured tie. Might actually give him the vermilion, Viridian. His pants are actually Viridian, but they're very pale. And this was Viridian as well, but it's extremely pale. So I might just strengthen that up a fraction. So I've actually quite enjoyed using these on the plate as a watercolour like this. It's actually been quite a pleasant way to colour. It actually feels like you're sitting and painting, like you're doing something very serious, but in fact it's a lot of fun. Oh, excuse me. Now I've got sneezes happening as well. My husband actually suggested I do a COVID test because of how I was feeling earlier, very achy. And I've got no respiratory type problems other than just sneezing. So to satisfy him, I did do a COVID test and it was negative, so you know what husbands can be like sometimes. At least I've satisfied his curiosity. When he had COVID, he had lots of aches and pains. He had a temperature, and he had very little in the way of respiratory problems as well. So he was convinced that, you know, of course that's the way he experienced it, that I must be doing the same. But no, it's come back negative, so I'm hoping it's just a 24-hour viral type issue. Now I know I was going to make this the focus, but I've inadvertently made the tree more of the focus, I think. It's definitely much deeper colours. I'm just having a look at through the camera now, and yeah, it does look that way. Okay, so I'm hoping to just push through and we're not going to lose the rest of this. I'm going to do that little vase on there in vermilion as well. There's a small tree on a picture there, which I don't feel like needs to be very detailed because it's really just a very small picture on the wall. So I'm just using little touches of what I've already used. These guys need a background behind here. It's a bit unfortunate that I used that yellow green already, so we'll use ice green here as the background. The ice green is what I used up here. So I'm just going to firm up a little bit of those areas as well. And this hill behind here, I sort of thought that I haven't used a lot of sap green in the tree, so I'm going to put some sap green in here. And once again, I don't want it too solid because, you know, it's suggestive of a grassy hill. And of course, that wouldn't be all one colour in a background. Excuse my hand there, but it's easiest for getting in here fast. And also, I'm sorry I keep talking quietly today. I think that's just the lack of energy thing, but I hope you can all hear me okay. Okay. I feel like whatever that woodwork was there, I've kind of forgotten what I used for it now. I might just use the Naples yellow. For that. raw umber. I think that might have been what I used for some of it. I just felt like that was blending into the background a bit too much. Okay, the back of the fireplace, I feel like that would be quite golden because you've got the glow of the fire. And the raw umber I'm going to bring in for the logs. So really I've mostly just got all the silver things to go. I'm going to do that as a wooden walking stick. I wanted to leave the post box post white, but we'll put a bit of shadow on there with the grey. Oops, that's a bit dark. Let's just try diluting that with a bit of water. Yeah, that went on a bit darker than I was expecting. Whoops. There you go. That just shows you how these things happen in real time. I'm going to just do his little eyebrows there. There's a little sun in that picture there. Oh, there's a nice groan from Hamish. And what did I do with that Naples yellow? Just feel like that needs a bit of tidying up in there. We're going to do some metallic on all these sort of little points there, the door knob. I don't actually have my metallic pens with me, so you'll have to believe me when I say that I'm going to do that. So that's what some of those watercolour type washes have ended up like. I think what I might do is actually get some pencils out, and I am going to add pencils to this. So there will be yet another part to come, making that part 4. Okay, thank you very much for watching to this point, if you're still with me. I hope you're finding that useful with the Koi Colouring brush pens. I will see you soon in the next one. Bye now.